In this video, I'll be talking to you about the basics of fundamental analysis in stocks. So, fundamental analysis is one of the two types of analysis that are used to analyze stocks, and fundamental analysis is the analysis of what stocks you should buy. So, fundamental analysis can be broken down into qualitative and quantitative analysis. Qualitative analysis focuses on all the attributes that can't be put into quantities or numbers. For example, is the company honest? How are their marketing? What are their strategies? Do they have any technology disruptions? Are they in an economic moat? Or how do they manage their company? While quantitative analysis is more like balance sheet analysis, profit and loss account analysis, cash flow analysis, assets, liabilities, and ratios. Let's start this video by talking about what some of those terms meant. A profit and loss account is how much has been earned at the end of a financial year. And a financial year is from the 1st of April to the 31st of March. So basically, a profit and loss account is a record of how much has been all the expenses that have been taking place in 1 year, but only 1 year. So, say you own a photography company and you bought a camera the first week when you started, and it's been 3 years by now. That camera is not on your profit and loss account for this year because it was not an expense or earning that you made this year. Versus a balance sheet. And a balance sheet is a statement that records all the company's assets and liabilities. An asset is anything you own versus a liability, which is anything you owe. It's titled as balance sheet as on date because it's a cumulative position from day one till now. So if you did get that camera on that first week of your business, but it's been 3 years by now, you'll still have that camera on your balance sheet. It's going to say that you bought that camera 1 week into your business. It's a statement that records all the company's earnings and spendings. There are also two types of expenses. A capital expense is any type of expense, the benefit of which goes beyond the balance sheet date. A revenue expense, however, is any expense, the benefit of which gets exhausted before the balance sheet date. So for example, say I bought a camera the first few days of my photography business. That camera will be in use for 10 years and maybe even more, and I will still be using that after 3 years. Since that expense went beyond the balance sheet date, since it can be used beyond the balance sheet date, it will be shown up on my balance sheet. A revenue expense, however, won't be shown on my balance sheet. For example, say I own a catering business and I got a bunch of food and drinks to make food. I bought a bunch of ingredients like groceries. Those groceries will not be benefited after a few weeks or days. I will have used them and the benefit would have gotten exhausted. Those will not show up in my balance sheet. Those will show up on my P&L account, my profit and loss account. There are also three subcategories to fundamental analysis: economy analysis, industry analysis, and company analysis. There are also two ways to analyze using the fundamental procedure. You can go from the bottom to top analysis or the top to bottom analysis. Both of these work, not one is better than the other. These are just two different ways to do it. So, economy analysis. Here is just a few things that you might want to look at when you're analyzing the economy. There's so much more, but here's just a brief overview. GDP. Is it growing or is it going down? Check out the inflation rate of the country. Is it steady inflation is good, but too much or too little inflation is very bad for the country? What is the Forex reserve position? A higher Forex reserves is very good for the country. Also check out the balance of payment, or BOP. If there are more exports in the country than imports, then there's a surplus BOP, which is really good. But if exports are less than the amount of imports, then there's a deficient amount of BOP, which is not that good for the country. Industry analysis. You want to look at the government, the change, and the funding. What is the government interested in right now? Is there a new leader? Is there a new party that's in control? Are they more interested in certain industries than others? What does a leader want change in or growth in? And what are they funding as well? If you want to learn more about analysis in stocks, you should check out our basics of technical analysis and learn more about the analysis of stocks. Thank you. I hope you love this video. For more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe to the Success Bistro.